Guys, we got a new microphone. It's this Rode thing right here, dude. I hope it sounds. God damn, I'm worried. I'm worried about the mic quality, man. What if it's too loud? How's it going, everyone? We got a setup update for you today. I've changed a couple of things around. As you can probably see, I've currently set up a white and green color scheme for the whole setup. We have an LED light strip behind the desk now. I reckon that looks pretty damn sick. And I've also invested in some new table legs for the IKEA LINNMON table. Now, for those that have been following me for a long time, you know that I've been using IKEA LINNMON tables for, I don't even know, so many years, man. I think I first bought an IKEA LINNMON table in late 2014. All right, I'm editing the video right now, but I had to interrupt it because I said I had the IKEA LINNMON in 2014. However, correction, it was in 2015, but I just scrolled down to the comments and I read this. This is 5 years ago. Part 3 of this series has been delayed by 12 hours due to the video still uploading. Only 690 minutes left until it uploads. GG Talk is awful. Talk was my ISP back in the day, but lol, that is jokes, man. Just reading that comment made me laugh. Over 690 minutes it took me to upload apparently part 3 of this video, which is this one here. Don't watch this content. This is like really terrible. This is when it all started, boys. I think it was around 2014 I first found out about IKEA LINNMONs, and I've stuck to them ever since. Well, I've gone ahead and upgraded the IKEA LINNMON by buying some new legs. Funnily enough, I think these table legs might actually be worth more money than the tabletops, because if you're not familiar with my setup, we have 2 tabletops combined into one. We have the 120 centimeter by 120 centimeter corner piece, and then we have another IKEA LINNMON. I'm gonna say IKEA LINNMON like 100 times in this video, but there's a 100 by 60 centimeter tabletop there, and I've combined them both. In the middle, you can see the tape that is holding the desks together. I am joking, of course. They're not held by tape, but I did use tape to kind of like get rid of the seam. This is probably not the best idea, but hey, it works. This is held together by, like, you know, the IKEA LINNMON Adul's leg holder. I screwed this in here so that the desk doesn't like break on me. And then we have one IKEA Adul's leg holding the 2 desks together. However, I'm gonna show you a very clear problem with this setup that, you know, anyone can identify. Also, just look at that cable management. That is just, wow, that is beautiful. Anyway, the table leg, all right. Problem 1, it's not aligned with the middle monitor, and I'm gonna be changing that up anyway. So don't worry about it not being aligned, because we're getting rid of that table leg, all right? But if I get rid of it now and just let the table rely on a table leg there and a table leg here, and then we have one in the corner as well, my desk will absolutely collapse in the middle because there just won't be enough support. So yeah, if I get rid of that now, GG to the setup. I won't have a setup anymore. So we're gonna get rid of that table leg and replace it with one of these. Now, as I said, these are probably more expensive than the desk itself, but I will leave links in the video description down below in case you're interested in picking some of these table legs up yourself. I actually found so many of these table leg designs on Amazon, and we can actually go through a couple of them in a minute. But I ended up going with the square one because I kind of like the way this one looked. And if you're wondering why I specifically went for a square design, it was mainly to add extra support for these tables. Because if you've ever owned an IKEA LINNMON tabletop, you probably know how unstable these tables are, and the table itself, like, everything is very lightweight. Bear in mind, these IKEA LINNMON tabletops, they're made out of cardboard and a very thin layer of wood. So they're very lightweight. I ain't kidding. You could probably pick up, if there was nothing on the table, I could probably pick up the entire desk just with one hand, because they honestly weigh nothing. And when you have a desk that weighs nothing and you pair it with really terrible table legs, it's gonna be a very wobbly desk. Now, I can do a bit of a shake test right now. Now, you'll probably see maybe the monitor's shaking a little bit, but this is nowhere near as bad as it would be if I was solely using those IKEA Adul's legs, which I was using them here, and I also had 2 there. Now, a couple months ago, I ended up switching to an IKEA Alex drawer that sat there instead of table legs. So that added a lot of structural support to the desk and made it less wobbly. So if you don't want to go for this route and make your IKEA LINNMON table way more stable and way less shaky and wobbly, invest in IKEA Alex drawers, you can go ahead and put an IKEA Alex drawer there and perhaps another one underneath there. Although if you had like a normal IKEA LINNMON tabletop, like one of the 2-meter ones that I had in one of my setups, then ideally, I guess you would be using 2 IKEA Alex drawers on either side and maybe something in the middle as well. Because for the 2-meter tabletop especially, you really need something in the middle supporting the table. Now, I've gone ahead and ordered 1 more of these, well, actually 2 more, because you can't just order 1 apparently. So I ordered 2 more of these square table legs, and I'm gonna be putting 1 more right in the center, which will add support for both tables, and we'll finally be able to get rid of that IKEA Adul's leg, which I reckon once we do that, the setup will look really, really cool. Much more unique than, I guess, a typical IKEA LINNMON table setup. You might have also noticed I've brought back the footrest for the setup. This is a product I actually really enjoyed using. I ended up ditching it for a little while, mainly because of this table leg being in the way. Like if I want to put this in the center, I really can't because of this bloody table leg in the middle. Like, oh man, that's why there's like 2 foam or like rubber pads that kind of like hold this thing in place and don't let it, you know, do this. So yeah, that's why those are there. But yeah, we've brought the footrest back. We've got some new table legs. What else is new? All right, I have gone ahead and added an LED light strip that actually syncs up with Razer Chroma. This is quite mad, and it doesn't even require a bridge. Now you might be thinking, is this like a Philips Hue light strip? What are you using, Em? Actually, it is from a company called Yeelight. So we have the LED light strip right here. I'm in Chroma Studio within the Razer Synapse app. And you know, this is the whole color scheme we currently got going. We got the nano leaves over on the left. It's like a full nano leaf setup. Looks pretty sick. We got the plant. It's still alive somehow. There's not only just white green. I can probably switch it up to white orange. Luckily, it does actually support Apple HomeKit, Google Home, as well as the Amazon Assistant. So pretty much everything is covered, and it also supports Razer, which is like a cherry on top, and it doesn't even need a bridge, which is very, very nice, because with Philips Hue in particular, you must have a bridge, which, you know, will just add extra money. And I think this light strip is also cheaper than the Philips Hue alternatives. It even comes with this GoV style switch, which when we press it, it turns the light strip on and off. I've gone ahead and Velcro taped it to the bottom of my desk, and we can easily take it off like this and just, you know, stick it back on or move it around, because I have a bunch of Velcro all over the bottom of the desk. And I have told you guys I will make a full cable management guide. Also, I'm so sorry about the kind of like leftover adhesive on the desk. I'm gonna get rid of all that before I do the guide, because that doesn't look very nice. But I've gone ahead and done a full cable management overhaul. Have a little sneak peek before we actually post the guide. I might try to improve this ever so slightly more, but overall, man, I am so happy with the way the cable management turned out. We got like a full USB hub here. We got the magnetic headset charger. Very, very cool. But yeah, big update for the whole setup. Let's turn that light strip back on. So actually having like a built-in controller like that, very nice addition. But yeah, we have a new light strip from Yeelight. I'll leave a link in the description down below to where you can get that one if you're interested. However, before you go out of your way and start buying this Yeelight Light Strip 1S, which is its model name, I do want to mention once again that I've personally not had the best experience with it. Not because of like the color reproduction, which I think isn't as good as Philips Hue, as I shall now demonstrate. If you set it to the color white, as you can see, this is white. Does that look white to you? Absolutely not. So this is the white color trying to be produced by the light strip. However, you can very clearly see, especially next to Nano Leaf, yeah, that ain't really white. The Yeelight light strip is probably cheaper than Philips Hue for this reason. And you can see above the monitor, that is how white should look like. And then you look here, and that is how this light strip looks like. If we point the camera up there to Philips Hue, that's like super duper bright. It's hard to really tell, but I guess this is a way better example right here. That is not white, that is white. I mean, there's nothing they can do really to fix this in a software update. This is like a genuine hardware issue, because they're just using a different LED light setup for this light strip. But besides the poor white color reproduction, I do want to mention that everything else appears to be fine, because if we set it to, let's say, the color red, it does update relatively quickly. Now it works fine, but when I was doing this earlier, it doesn't always work. So perhaps my Wi-Fi is messed up or something, or like I've misconfigured it in some way. I really don't know. I'm guessing their app is probably the main thing that needs work, because this is the Yeelight Chroma connector app, and unfortunately, I don't think they've done any kind of English translation on it, because when you right click on it, this is what it tells me. Now, I can't read Chinese or whatever language this even is. Forgive me if this is not even Chinese. I'm pretty sure the first one, because I did press these buttons randomly, I think this is exit. I'm not sure what the middle one does, but this is start with Windows as far as I know. So when you press that, a little tick turns on, and then this application should boot up as you turn on Windows. But yeah, that's the application, that's Yeelight. And in order to make it all work, make sure you go over to devices and have Yeelight enabled under the Connect devices, Chroma Connect, make sure this is all set up and enabled. It's all right. However, I do feel like it does need some work, especially on their software side. They need to update it and add multiple languages instead of just Chinese or whatever that language is. Please add English. Behind the monitor, as you've probably maybe known already, we have these Philips Hue LED light strip play bars. There's one pointing down, as you can see, and oh my god, there's like adhesive left over again, I'm sorry. But there's also two pointing up at the YouTube play button, God bless. And then we also have this entire setup over here. I've gone ahead and recable managed most of the things going on behind the PC right here. I've bought some new DisplayPort cables. All of these are 3 meters long, DisplayPort 1.4, supporting up to, I think it's like 1440p, 165 Hertz. So these monitors run at 1440p, 165 Hertz, the two MSI ones on either side. And then the middle one is the Razer Raptor, which runs at 1440p at 144 Hertz, not 165. But this is an IPS display, whereas the MSI ones are VA panels. And one video I really want to make is talking about the color reproduction on the Razer Raptor in comparison to these MSI monitors, because I've had people in the DMs ask me about these MSI monitors, and a lot of people have said that the colors on them, they look rather washed out. And they're not lying. When you put a monitor like the Razer Raptor, which has amazing color reproduction, probably because it is an IPS display, but at the same time, Razer like calibrated it, so it meets like a lot of the Adobe RGB spectrum or something. But I can put up like maybe the Razer Raptor stats on screen so you can see. But these two MSI monitors, they just can't keep up with the Razer monitor in terms of the color reproduction whatsoever. The colors on the Razer one look so lifelike and so much more saturated, not in a bad way or like an oversaturated way, in a way that like how they're actually meant to look like, When you're watching content on the Razer Raptor monitor, everything looks how it should. Whereas when you start playing content on the two MSI monitors, you see a very clear difference in color reproduction. Now, I will probably compare the Razer Raptor against another monitor that also features an IPS display, 144 Hertz, if not even more. I don't know. I have to look at the specs again on that new monitor, but we do have a new monitor from ViewSonic. That's the only hint I'm gonna give you. It's from ViewSonic. You can Google their monitors and try find out which one we're gonna get, but stay tuned for an unboxing video, and I'll probably do a comparison video between the Razer Raptor and that new IPS 1440p and high refresh rate monitor. It's either 144 Hertz or 165 Hertz IPS, but it will be good to compare IPS versus IPS, and then maybe we can throw in one of the MSI monitors as well and compare those against these two IPS displays and see which one comes out on top. It's gonna be an interesting comparison video for sure. I really can't wait to unbox it and try it out, man. It's pretty sick. So I'm gonna probably leave it at that. Just been like a quick update for the whole setup. We got a new light strip, we got some new table legs, and I got some more table legs on the way as well to replace the one in the middle. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Let me know what you guys are thinking of the setup right now. I reckon it looks pretty sick, especially with this like white and orange theme. Love it, man. Anyway, I'm gonna get going. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, hopefully this video maybe gave you some ideas for your own setup. And once again, if you are using the IKEA Adils legs, you really might want to consider upgrading to something like this, because they're genuinely way better. They will add so much structural support and make your table way less wobbly, probably. All right, I'm gonna get going. Thanks for watching once again. I'll see you in another video soon. Goodbye.